Thank you for watching EVH Gear Discussion. Brought to you in part by VanHalenStore.com. Please be sure to subscribe.
Hi, this is Glenn Mazzari, and you're watching EVH Gear Discussion with Eric Broadbent.
Hi guys, Eric Broadbent here. Welcome to a Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, Saturday night live YouTube pop-in. I'm just popping in, nothing really on the agenda today. Had a fantastic hangout last night with a bunch of guys, some new faces and some old faces. I'm not sure if you got a chance to check that one out on my channel, but we had probably about a 2.5 hour hangout, the longest one I've ever done to date. We had Dave Nesdall, we had Rob Johnson, Mark Kazansky, Bob Shaleski, Dave Lucy. I got some notes here. I can probably figure. I'm probably forgetting a few people. Jared Frost, obviously. Adam Reaver joined us in the later part of the evening. That was fantastic. Adam Reaver from fu-tone.com. You hear me talking about him a lot on the show. Makes fantastic upgrades for all of our guitars. And it was great having him come in, and I think all the panelists that were with me really enjoyed his company as well, and the knowledge. We were all kind of silent, just taking in as much as we could from him. Hey, a couple people popping in. Hey, Sean Mahoney and Adam Scheinberg. A couple of my favorite people always coming through. I'm glad to see you popping in. Don't you have anything better to do on a Saturday than watch me on YouTube? Thank you for coming on by, guys. Just going to answer a couple questions that I had come through, and I did address some of these last night in the hangout. And Adam says, "Did you sleep last night?" Yeah, I slept pretty good. It was a good night last night. Some of these questions I answered last night, but they might have gotten muddled in the mix here because it was a long hangout. And, some of the people were waiting for some of those answers. They might not want to go fast forward through 2.5 hours to hear their questions again. So I just thought I would do a little courtesy call here and throw out some answers to some questions. By the way, guys, how does this sound? I'm using another microphone here now. I put the Blue Yeti aside, and I'm using an Audio Technica for my vocal mic, and I've got another mic back on the cabinet. Is it sounding pretty good? Hey, Geezer Rocker's here as well. And I am going to jam a little bit too. I've got a pretty good setup now. I think it's going to sound pretty good. Okay, so a couple questions here. This one's from YouTube, from Frank Fitzgibbons. He says, Eric, very informative. I have learned quite a bit from your productive review from the Van Halen store. Enjoying your knowledge listening to your hangouts. Talking about building guitars and amp settings and things like that. His question is, Eddie used to boil strings to stretch them out, then air dry. He stated his are 9 gauge, 009, whatever. Does he still boil them? Are his strings better? And then he said he has seen Van Halen from 1980 through 2015. Eric, you do a great job, down to earth. Thank you very much, Frank. I really appreciate that. Okay, and guys on the side there, yes, thank you very much for the comments on the sound. I appreciate that. So I guess I'm doing it okay. That's very nice comments to get like this. It's very nice when you see these things come through, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or through my website. I do this stuff just out of a labor of love. I love doing these videos, and it's cool when sometimes you say something to people and it hits home, and they not only appreciate it, they apply some of the techniques I'm teaching them, whether it's something to set up for pedals or maybe it's an actual technique on guitar. It's really cool that they appreciate that. So to answer your question, Frank, I don't believe Eddie does that anymore. There's no real need for it. Eddie back in the day was, as he always has been, he's always chasing the next thing, right? Chasing tone, and with boiling the strings, if that worked for him at the time, it was kind of cool. Maybe it kind of helped his tone. I've tried it a few times as a kid growing up. It was a pain in the butt. You got to boil them. You got to dry them down right away too, so they don't rust, unless they're like stainless, whatever. But I don't really think he does that anymore. And he's still using the same 9 gauge strings. So another one from YouTube as well. This one is from 70 Footer. He says, "Hey, that was cool. Thanks for the tour." He says, "Question. I have found the 5153 amps really supply almost everything for the tone we are looking for. Do you agree? If so, why all the pedals such as reverb, and why the 5150 pedal? That is exactly the same as our amps, isn't it?" And he says, "Thanks." What he's referring to is a video I did a couple days ago. Actually, I always say this, a couple days ago. It's like a week ago, last week, and I did just a real quick. I took my GoPro and was walking around the studio here and showing some of the things that the camera, the webcam here in this case, doesn't show. You got such a narrow field of view. So I was just showing my amp, showing my lighting, showing my green screen and all that kind of stuff. And then I showed my pedal board, and he's probably noticing that I had the reverb pedals, and of course I had the 5150 overdrive pedal. And yeah, so the average person thinking that, why would you have the 5150 overdrive pedal on that amplifier? And I watched a really good video today. Mark Kazansky, who was on the show last night too, and I forgot to mention his name. Great guest, or maybe I did. Anyways, she sent me a video today of Pete Thorne, another person I really admire for guitar, and he was he was doing a demo of the overdrive pedal, the BD something, I forget the number of the pedal. It was a great pedal, Friedman, whatever. And he made a good point. If let's say you're flying, you're a professional musician, you're flying to another gig, whatever, and you don't have your rig to bring with you. Let's make it even more simple to the layman, like us guys. You're driving to a gig and you're going to be opening for another band. You don't get to use your rig. It's very, very nice to have that overdrive pedal in your pedal board, because now you can plug into a Marshall or a Fender or anything of the kind like that, and then you have very, very close to your 5150 sound. I'm not using it right now, but I did fire up the 5150 300 watt head back there. I've been using the Lunchbox religiously. I love that amp, but every once in a while I get these little guilty pleasures and I have to go back to the 100 watt head, and I'm glad I did, because I'm playing it today and it's on the lead channel right now, so I'm going to play that one in a few minutes. But yeah, I use the Boss reverb. I've got that in the amp. I've got two Boss delays, DD3s. One is set at around 200 and some odd milliseconds. One is set at probably about 350 to give me a longer ambiance, a longer echo. I've got the Boss NS2, which is very, very nice, because if I turn the amp up right now, okay, you're hearing a slight hiss, but it's muting all of that extra stuff. So it's gating a little bit, but I don't let it gate too much. But it does give you some good tone. So I'll turn that back off. I'll do some playing in a few minutes. But anyways, it's in there. Can you guys on the side panel there, can you hear the guitar all right? Just drop me a line, say yes or no. All right, so yeah, so then a couple other pedals I'm using in that pedal board too. You can see them all on the site here, on the YouTube channel. But I've got the BBE Sonic Stomp. I use that one religiously. That pedal never gets shut off. It's just a nice low-end presence, kind of an oomph to the amplifier without being too chunky. I tend to roll my bass back a little bit. My lows are probably about 12 o'clock position with using the BBE. I've got obviously the EVH phaser, which you can hear in there, the EVH flanger, the EVH wah. What else have I got in there? I've got the MXR analog chorus, obviously the 5150 overdrive, and then rounded out by the TU2 tuner. I use that as a bypass, a signal block when I want to change guitars or pull out a chord, whatever. So yeah, look at that video. It's called Behind the Scenes, or What the Cameras Don't See, and you get to see some of the stuff in the studio here, and you'll also get to see my pedal board and whatnot. A couple other comments on the side. Got some other regulars popping in. Michael Smith and Jared Frost, who was actually on the show last night. Jared says, listening in last night was great. I feel bad I wasn't more vocal, but I'm surrounded with such great talent in the room, and I really didn't know what to say. Hey, no problem at all. And I tend to ramble a little bit, and that's my fault too. Not your fault at all. And Adam is saying, is that the mask behind you there that Junior made? Yeah, actually, here's a mask. Little Eric wanted to get a mask, and he saw it at the dollar store one time. So we went into our town today, went to 2 different dollar stores, couldn't find it. So we went to a craft store. I'd already bought the paint, so now I pick up the red and black spray paint, and we already had the paint. We didn't have any mask. Went to a craft store and found it. So we've got this so far. It's coming pretty good. He wanted to do a good little practice experiment. We're going to do the black here in a couple hours. Actually, I know I probably can't. I'm going to mask it tonight for the black, but I won't bottle paint because it's raining outside right now and can't get out there to paint. I don't want to paint in the house. So, yeah, we'll I don't want to kill everybody in here with the fumes. But it's coming pretty good. I like it. Not too bad at all. The base white that was on there was a nice shade of flat white, so it worked pretty cool. So, and actually, he had a great idea. We're gonna do several of these. We're gonna do a Bumblebee. We're gonna do some other ones as well too. We're gonna have a whole little collection of them just to hang on this wall. So that'll be pretty cool. So yeah, there's your answer to that question. Michael Smith says, I played the 5150 pedal through a Fender Twin Reverb at Guitar Center. Sounds amazing. That would sound very, very nice on that amplifier, because I've always said the Fender Twin is a very spongy, very nice, warm sounding amp. and that 5150 overdrive will just complement that for sure. Let's have a look at a few others here. Bill Dent from my website, he says, hey Eric, I recently stumbled across your YouTube channel and I think it's really awesome. I'd like to get your opinion on something. I have a 2015, I think it's the 100th birthday edition Les Paul Studio that I bought new. It does not have the silly GeForce auto-tune thing. I want a Wolfgang Special, but can't really afford to buy one right now. I'm considering selling my studio in order to get the Wolfgang. Would you do it? If the studio was any other year, I'd do it. I'm just not sure because of the 100th birthday model. Thanks in advance. Obviously, everyone's going to expect me to say, yes, get rid of it, get the Wolfgang. But because it's I'm not 100% familiar with that guitar, but because it's a special one, like a significant model and anniversary type thing, I wouldn't get rid of it. The Wolfgangs are always going to be there, and they're very, very affordable. Whether you get a special or a standard like this one here, they're very, very affordable. You're going to regret it probably, like all of us guitarists do. When you get rid of something, you're going to regret it. So I would say hang on to it, and you pull some tricks somewhere else. Maybe sell some junk you got in the house that you don't want anymore. Some old collectibles or something. I don't know. Buy the guitar that way, but don't get rid of that Les Paul because you'll regret it after. And it's going to be nice to have a Les Paul and a Wolfgang. A couple best of both world kind of style guitars. Be really nice for sure. Let's go on to another one here as well. Okay, so this one, I know this one was answered, but I'm going to just mention it again too, because there could be someone else like this fellow here that had this similar trouble. Stephen Odette, he put this comment on the EVH Gear Discussion Facebook page. If you want to check out that page, it's facebook.com/EVH Gear Discussion. Join in that page. It's a very new page. It's only been up for a couple of weeks and got a few hundred people joining on there as well. He says, I want to replace my old ESP bridge with an original Floyd Rose. I have never done this before, so I'm not sure how to go about it and make an easier transition. Anyone have input? That'd be great. Post to the center, he says post to post, center of the original ESP bridge is about 75 millimeters. So it can be done, and Stephen has done it. He fooled with it a little bit, and he's got an original Floyd on there as well too now. So that's working out for him, and I'm glad that you left some feedback that way. Through the website. It's really good. Let me see here. And Adam, if you're still here in the conversation, this was a question that you had asked, and it was a very, very good question. Adam Scheinberg had asked about when they give the specs on the Wolfgangs, any of the Wolfgangs, he asked what the direct mounting pickup system was. Like, what did that mean? Very, very good question. So if you notice on these guitars, I'll see if I can lift it up a little bit. Like a lot of guitars will have a pickup ring. The chrome ring, plastic or black or whatever it is that goes around the side. And then the pickups the screw will go through the pickup ring. There's a spring inside, and it almost works like a shock absorber. The pickup hangs from the spring, in other words. Eddie Van Halen has always been, you look at his guitars, he's always been the type of guy where everything has to be bolted down. So inside the pickup cavity, the pickups are screwed right into the wood of the guitar. So you can't really move them, and everything is solid. It just resonates with the guitar. And some purists will say, even myself as well, that it does kind of help reduce feedback a little bit too. Everything that's connected is, a better link, better chain. So that's what that means. He says, reviewing the Wolfgang description, he says, the pickups are direct mounted humbucking. Can you please explain that direct mount means? Are there other options, and why would one choose one over the other? Thanks again. Looking forward to the next show. And I know you tuned in last night, so thank you. So yeah, they are direct mounted. On a couple of my guitars, on the PV Wolfgang USA, the black one I've got back at the back, I actually put in a pickup ring just for decoration, and I'm going to be doing that on this guitar too. I'm starting to chrome this one out a little bit, so I'm going to put some chrome pickup rings on here, and they're going to be just decoration. They're not going to be suspending the pickup. I don't like suspended pickups. And a perfect example is my PRS back there. They are suspended, like through the pickup rings, and they're floating, and the springs have dropped on, I think, the neck humbucker, and the pickup has actually fallen inside the guitar, and they're very short springs, so you don't get a lot of play on those things, and it's a pain. I have to take all the strings off now, take out the pickup ring, put them back on, stick it in. So I think what I'm going to do in a case like that, on the FU Tone website, fu-tone.com, look up the PMS, which is the pickup mounting system. It's a little brass type of mechanism that will bolt into the guitar, and then the pickup will bolt into that. So it's actually pretty cool too. It's another conduit between the pickup and the body. So that's very, very cool. I think that's all I had for questions. And yeah, Michael Smith is saying on the side as well too. He's saying don't sell it. So I'm going to just see how the audio sounds here on the guitar. I'm running through the red channel, the lead channel on the 15300 watt back there. And I'll bring up the volume here a little bit. I'll just do some noodling. There's nothing on the forecast here, so we'll just do some playing. So let's see what we got for sound here. So I'm getting a message from Geezer saying that the voice and the audio are not in sync. Okay, that's not good. I've been having this problem crazily, and I just did a test just before I went live. I set up the, I had to put a buffer to make the audio and video in sync, and I had it at I made it some notes here. 400 milliseconds was my sweet spot, I thought. So I apologize if that's not working. Sometimes after this video is done, when it's done processing, it kind of catches up, and the quality will be better, and it should be in sync. So I apologize, and hang in there, with this problem I'm having with that. I'll try to get that adjusted for the next live broadcast. This was just kind of an impromptu thing. So thanks for pointing that out, guys. I will. Oh, it's about a second off. Okay, that's really bad. Okay, yeah, that's too bad. I'll adjust that for sure. But let's take a peek when the video is done. To come back a few minutes after the video is over and just take a peek. But I'll noodle again just for a minute, and then we'll call it a day unless anyone else has any questions on the side. I religiously hate that part. I hate that part. I practice that over and over and over again. Whenever I would do that live back with the band, I would always I would count my exits. So I'd be doing this part here, and I would wait to get out, and then that's okay. I'm ready. So I'm gonna try that again just for fun. So I would count, I'd be okay, ready, am I ready? And whenever I felt I was ready, then I would... Okay, so it still wasn't flawless, but it was better. And it goes to show you guys, I make mistakes all the time. and I'm nowhere near 100% accurate, not even close to it. But I have fun with it, and that's what I encourage everyone to do. Just have fun with this. Don't if you can nail it, great. If you can't, as long as you're having fun, that's what it's all about. Geezer saying tones and playing is excellent. Thank you. And yeah, it's out of sync. So I promise you, when I hang up this broadcast, I'm gonna try to nail this audio video sync issue. It's because I'm going through a USB mixer, and then the webcam is USB, and it has a bit of a delay as well too. But before I hang up the broadcast here, did anybody have any questions they want to ask me? Be more than happy to try and address any of those. Let me know. Hey, Samara. There we go. I'll get this audio video stuff all synced up. So anyways, yeah, take a look at the hangout we did last night. It's a long one. If you got nothing to do tonight, check it out. It's a live broadcast from last night. It is about 2.5 hours. Adam Reaver comes in about the last probably half an hour. So if you want to skip right to the technical stuff, skip towards the end there. But some great guests, and a couple of the guests that were on the show last night are going to be joining me again very, very soon. Mark Kazansky, who's a left-handed player, has got some very nice Wolfgangs left-handed, which is cool. We don't get to see those a lot, and he's done some upgrades on his as well, so he's going to come back on. And Jared Frost, it's a nice guitar you have, my friend. Yes, Jared has the same guitar as this one here, only in the blue, the blue burst. This one's a purple burst. I guess too, actually Sean's saying too, he says, just want to let you know I ordered a 2015 Wolfgang Special yesterday and wanted to thank you for all your insight. It should be here Wednesday. Pretty excited. Fantastic, Sean. And Sean, if you want to come on the show as a guest, by all means, come on and show that guitar as well. And Michael says, what is the volume on, or are you plugged directly into the board? I'm actually, no, I'm not plugged into the board directly. I've got a PVM 45i, which is equivalent to a Shure SM57 mic in the cabinet back there. And then this is an XLR mic as well too. But there is a delay. And I'm running through a small USB mixer, but it's the webcam that's causing the problem. The audio is in sync, the video is out of sync. So I just have to put a buffer. I have to tell the webcam to either delay the signal so long or shorten it, whatever. You can go forward or backward. It's just a balancing act. So I will get that figured out for sure. But yeah, Sean Mahoney, for sure. I'd love to have you on the show, show off that guitar. And even if it's if you get the guitar before the show, like you say, Wednesday, I do my show on Friday. Hit me up on Facebook and show me some pictures for sure. And yeah, for sure, post them on the Facebook page. That would be great. All right, so I'll just try a little bit more noodle here for a minute. I know I'm probably completely out of time, but we'll just see what else we can do here. The cool thing too I like about this guitar, I didn't talk about it, is now you can see on the Floyd up here, I've got a German-made Floyd Rose original, which is from the probably very mid-90s, 92, 93, maybe even as late as 95, and it's a workhorse that was sent to me from Dave Nesdall, and I really appreciate that, which now lets me get my Japanese special that you can kind of see back there on the stand. It's the cream one. It's almost ready to get restored as well too, so I'm really looking forward to that. So we'll just see what else we got for tone here. So there we go. I know we're completely out of sync, and it probably looks like it's a very bad imported movie. But yeah, and Jared's talking about to Sean saying, "If you tone that special," Jared or I for sure can give you some great pointers on which parts to buy. And if you go to my website at ericbroadbent.com and look for the, it's in the blog, you'll see it somewhere in the blog. Look for the Purple Wolfgang standard shootout video I did. And in the description of the video, actually on the page of the site, I give the names of all the parts at FU Tone that you'll want to get and links right to them in the store. So you can actually follow those links, add them to your cart, and so on and so forth. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think you're looking at, take off the kill switch that I added to mine. I think it was around $160 some odd retail price plus shipping, somewhere in that neighborhood. So it's very, very affordable. And this guy, in a quick nutshell, what it is, guys, is I'll give you the parts list right here. We've got the string lock screws. So these are all stainless steel. You want 6 of those, and you want to tell Adam you want a longer one for the D-tuna if you have a D-tuna. The titanium string lock blocks, that's a real, if you're going to get only a couple things, you're going to get a brass block, and you're going to want to get these. Then you've got the stainless steel saddle mount screws. You want to get those, 6 of those. You want to get the 3 stainless steel nut clamp screws. And what am I missing? I guess obviously the block on the back. Sorry about that. I'm not sure if you can see that. You want the brass block. I think that's the 37L block you want for that one. And then I also have a trem stopper in there as well. That's about a $25 part. That will set as kind of a new 0.0 kind of a starting point for your Floyd. So if your Floyd is tipping back a little bit, now I'm all tangled up. If your Floyd's tipping back, it'll keep a dead 0. So anyways, yeah, that's probably about the big nutshell of it, and that's on my website as well at ericbroadbent.com. So I don't see any other questions on the side. So guys, thank you for popping in here and just checking me out. And I'll get to the bottom of this audio video sync issue. And yeah, I really appreciate it. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. I hope it's a great one. We've got a rating up here in Canada right now, but it's nice it's bringing some of this heat down. We've had an enormous amount of heat here in Canada. It's like Arizona. But with this rain now, it's going to bring it down a little bit. So have a fantastic weekend, everybody, and I look forward to talking to you soon. If you like this video, share it, and like and subscribe, and all that good stuff, and we'll talk to you very soon. Cheers.
My name is Eric, and I'm playing Wolfgang guitar.